Welcome to our first episode of Chocolate for Dogs. I am joined today by Elodie and Brandon. Today's subject is going to be on chocolate toxicity. Brandon, what do you know about chocolate toxicity?
Well, I know that you're not supposed to give it to your dogs.
Why?
Yeah, a good one. I actually don't know. I actually don't know why you're not supposed to give it.
Have you ever given it to Murphy before?
I have not, because I'm not stupid. Okay, my full understanding of why you don't give chocolate to dogs is because an Oreo ad told me not to do it once. I mean,
Are you serious?
but yeah, it's legit. It's like, oh, Mum says chocolate isn't good for dogs, but you can have the rest of them now. That's seriously why and you know, from old wives' tales, don't feed chocolate to your dogs. That's my knowledge. And I would say that that's the layman's understanding of
pretty much
why you don't give chocolate to your dogs.
So, based on an Oreo ad.
Based on an Oreo ad.
Well, so it actually contains a toxin called theobromine and caffeine, and we can actually metabolize it.
Caffeine's no good for dogs?
No, coffee for Murphy.
Murphy doesn't get his morning coffee anymore.
So we can actually metabolize those substances as well as people, but dogs and cats can't metabolize those substances, and it gets recycled within the body. Do you know what it causes?
Arrhythmias, tachycardia, gastrointestinal symptoms, possible neurological as well.
It can cause seizures as well as coma, so it can be quite severe.
What sort of time frame are we looking at? Like, if Murphy had one square of a block of chocolate, would I fret immediately and take him to the vet straight away, or would I stick a hose down his mouth?
Don't stick a hose down his mouth. The biggest thing with chocolate toxicity is, say, if Murphy was a 20-kilo dog, most likely the worst ones for dogs is the bitter chocolate. So the darkest chocolate is the worst.
Oh yeah, of course, because it's not.
So it has the most theobromine.
So
and
the more it's mixed in with milk, the less bad it is.
Yeah, because white chocolate is the devil. White chocolate's not real chocolate. It's just milk. Why would you eat?
But they can eat that.
Well, I wouldn't don't feed it to them. It's not a good thing to feed to them. But
But if I was, say, a viewer at home and I said, no, I must feed chocolate to my dog.
White chocolate's
the best one.
But don't
do it anyway.
Don't do it anyway. But say Murphy was a 20-kilo dog, he'd have to have about 20 grams of baker's chocolate, which is the worst with theobromine concentrations, versus 150 grams of milk chocolate. So it's quite a large variation between dark chocolate and milk chocolate. But either way, if they have chocolate, call your vet. And we have a little calculator on our computer that we can look up, and we actually have a little animation that says GI signs based on the dose, GI signs, seizures, arrhythmias, and then we say come down based on what our calculation says.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's like playing a video game at work.
Yeah, except for sometimes your little animation comes up with little cross eyes. And then
Does chocolate toxicity, is it worse for small dogs if they have the same amount as a large dog?
Yeah, definitely.
So concentration matters?
Yeah, 100% concentration matters. So if Cooper ingested, say, 20 grams, like a 20-kilo dog, he'd be pretty bad. Sorry,
wouldn't be in
Coops.
good shape.
Wouldn't be in good shape.
So if you had Cooper come into the vet with chocolate toxicity at the same time as a Great Dane or something, you'd be like, Cooper's more important.
We'd probably be more concerned
about
about
Cooper,
him.
100%. The most important clinical signs that we see of GI signs, so any vomiting or diarrhea, they can have salivation as well. Usually they are hyper excited or seem really irritated and restless due to having such high heart rates. Sometimes seizures, unfortunately, they can be quite severe to the point where they're having full-blown seizure activity and comas. But how do you think we diagnose it?
If it's vomiting a lot, they've had a lot of chocolate.
Potentially.
If they're not vomiting a lot, then they don't have a lot of chocolate. I don't know. Does that track?
Usually it's like
Look
the
at the contents of the vomit as well, because that can also really give it away.
Oh, yeah, when it comes out, it's not carrots, it's like chocolate.
It's not foul smelling.
It's actually disgusting though, smelling like chocolate that's already been brought up again. It makes sure you get put on chocolate. But
Does it smell like burnt hair?
No, it actually just smells like melted chocolate. And we've had cases where they've actually eaten the whole chocolate plus the wrapping. So it comes out.
So we
just
keep
like
it
a
for a
chocolate.
snack.
Yeah.
Actually,
Put it back in the fridge and it's back in its solid form.
that's a good question actually. Like, if they eat the wrapping, can that become lodged, a foreign body lodged in it, and they can't pass it through the system?
So usually people bring their dogs in because they've seen them eating some chocolate and they say, my dog's eaten this amount of chocolate or approximately this much, should I bring it down? We say yes. We make them vomit and then sometimes the wrappers are there as well.
Is it advisable for someone at home, if they know that their dog's eating chocolate, to try and make them vomit?
No, there's no safe way to do it at home. Yeah. Otherwise, sticking your finger down the throat of a dog doesn't actually work.
So what's
it's not like people.
What's the process of doing it at a veterinary clinic?
So it depends on where you go. So usually they either have soda crystals, where you put in a soda crystal and they give a bit of water and they make it vomit. If that's not successful, then we have to use medical intervention, and we use a drug called apomorphine, which is not morphine for those people who try to steal it. And
Really?
we make it vomit. Yeah, and we put it either in their gums and make them vomit from that, and then we reverse it. And we try and get out as much as possible. So we make them vomit all the way until there's bile in the vomit, and then we can make them
And
stop.
that way you know that it's all out.
Yeah, except for, say it's like three.
Has already been
Yeah,
metabolized.
so it's
Yeah,
not
I was
there
just
like,
about to ask,
yeah,
how
4 or
quickly
5.
would a dog metabolize chocolate?
We would make them vomit within a 3-hour period. So anywhere from eating it to 3 hours later, even 4 to 5 hours later would make them vomit. But the potential of them actually absorbing that is pretty high. So then we also look for other clinical signs like have the arrhythmias started yet and things like that. Usually then we go on to giving charcoal, and then we give multiple doses throughout the night because it actually gets recycled by the body from the liver and it gets put into the system again.
And charcoal, for people who don't know at home, charcoal is really good at absorbing toxins.
Yeah, you're really good at absorbing toxins.
I know they use it in
What new
water
word?
filters to take the toxins out of water.
Pardon me?
They use it in water filters to take the
Oh, do
toxins
they?
out of water. Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
binds
Yeah,
itself to
charcoal-
toxins and then
charcoal's
it carries itself through the body.
And then we, depending on the severity, sometimes we also flush out their system with like a gastric lavage and put them under a general anaesthetic and have to like pump fluid into their stomach and then pump it back out again. Yeah, it's pretty flush. And then we put them on fluid therapy. You know what's even worse?
What?
When chocolate has raisins in it.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
Raisins and
Okay,
macadamia
let's
nuts.
go, let's go. Why? So fruit and nut chocolate would be like the
that's the
The
worst.
worst,
Sticking up.
yeah.
Okay, tell me why, because fruit and nut chocolate's my favourite.
What is wrong with you? You're the Antichrist.
Yeah, I reckon.
Excuse me.
Who likes
Fruit-
fruit
okay,
and nut?
fruit and nut.
You only get fruit and nut for the people
Just
you
get
don't
a
love in your
tri-
life.
Well, what about hazelnut? Hazelnuts are, excuse me.
There's no fruit in that.
Okay, no, actually, my favourite chocolate's mint chocolate. Is mint bad for
No,
dogs?
it's got xylitol in it sometimes.
Ooh.
So xylitol is like a fake sugar, and it can go into. They can go
True,
into
so it's not even like a cool
It's not no.
cool drug that the kids are doing these days.
Is there a
Xylitol.
cool drug that kids do?
No,
Yeah.
there are not.
Yeah, so raisins cause really severe kidney injury and kidney failure. So, and macadamia nuts actually cause them to get really stiff joints. And it gets, they like form complexes in their little joints.
Is that
It gives
because they
like
can't digest them,
polyarthritis.
or is it because like it gets lodged in their system? What's
It's
the
just
going
how
on
they
there?
metabolize the macadamia nut. They just seem to get this polyarthritis. The exact understanding isn't really known though, so we don't really know why it happens. It just does.
Okay, so now that we're on the topic of like things that are in chocolate that are also bad for dogs. What about like caramel and nougat and all that sort of other
The
stuff?
main things with those is making sure it doesn't have like xylitol in it. So it's always those.
Which is the
like,
cool sugar.
the cool sugar. Yeah, the not so cool sugar. That
The cool
causes
sugar the kids are doing these days.
severe liver injury.
Sorry. Severe liver injury.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay, so chocolate, overall, the chocolate affects the liver the most, or is it?
No, so chocolate mainly just causes cardiac problems and then neurological problems.
And then it's the
But
raisins that do
the raisins do
damage.
kidneys.
Kidney!
Yeah.
Oh my god, the full body damage from a fruit and nut
Yeah.
chocolate.
It's a dangerous world for dogs.
It really is, hey. He's gone to mum.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Do you have any other questions on chocolate?
No, less chocolate for dogs, more chocolate for Brandon. That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm about.
Family block. Have you ever sat down and eaten a whole family block though? I have.
No, I can't say I have.
Just one.
Just 3.
Mum gave me, she's so cute. Mum gave me a packet of,
Cute.
a full like long packet of mint slices.
Oh.
And she was like, oh, if you don't make it through, just put the rest in the freezer. I'm like, already finished the pack. I'm like, Mum, you didn't get me the king
Freezer?
size packet.
How
Yeah,
dare
I
you.
freeze my chocolate.
What?
You put your chocolate in the
Why? Break
Because
the
it's
thing.
better.
I thoroughly disagree with
No,
that.
I like room temperature.
No, what the hell? I put it in the
Yes,
fridge.
we've got a full spectrum. You have room temperature, fridge chocolate, and freezer chocolate. Comment section, tell us which is best.
But seriously.
Freezer chocolate is so much better. I hate it when it gets all. I hate room temperature chocolate because it's all like
melted.
gooey and it gets all through your teeth and it's disgusting. I like.
No, but then you get snaggle teeth more often.
Suck on it. Do you know how bad that is for your teeth? Okay.
Kidney injury.
Okay, if you were to feed your dog a handful of chocolate or a handful of grapes.
How about
I'd probably go for the chocolate. Oh, okay.
I got one of them.
I'd probably go for the chocolate. Sorry.
handful of chocolate, handful of chocolate, handful of grapes. Which one? Which one would be less bad?
Chocolate, because at least that one is going to be like potentially more treatable than losing your kidneys.
Yeah.
So you would like, how fast would a dog lose their kidneys?
We
if
usually
they
see
ate grape?
signs within 72 hours.
72?
Yeah.
So you can flush their stomach before then, or do they metabolize it too quickly?
So there's no actual dose rate for dogs with grapes. So one, like Cooper might have one grape going full blown.
Oh, hey Louie.
Renal failure.
Renal failure, or Louis might have one grape and have absolutely nothing wrong with him. So we have no dose rate, but some are more susceptible than others.
Is chocolate bad for cats?
Yes.
So you can have grapes, but not chocolate.
You can
But he can not have chocolate, but definitely not have grapes.
definitely not.
Dogs
He
are
can definitely not have either.
Dogs
Yeah.
are so weird.
They are really susceptible to a lot of things. Hey.
And it's a shame because a lot of people think, you know, they're giving their pets treats when they're feeding them a lot of human foods, but when really they're potentially putting their pets' lives at risk without even knowing.
Yeah, and
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
have good intentions,
Yeah.
but could
Yeah.
be pretty bad.
Yeah, and there's often like in consult when people come in when their pets are going home after having gastroenteritis, so like vomiting, diarrhea, they'll ask, well, what can I feed my dog, like, you know, as a treat? Because I'll often be feeding them, you know, human foods like cheese and
Sausage, steak.
yes, bacon, just lots of high fatty foods. When
Bacon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely never fed my dog like a steak or
That's actually good. How do you?
But chicken, they say like when your dog is vomiting, you give them a diet of chicken
Chicken
and
and
rice.
rice. Cooked
right?
chicken
So
and rice.
cooked chicken is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you go about managing a chocolate toxicity as a nurse?
So managing it as a nurse, so obviously we follow the instructions of the vets. They will come up with the treatment plan and then we'll assist in carrying through that plan. So probably first things first is inducing emesis, so making the animal vomit and having the good job of sifting through the vomit and finding any...
gloves off.
Yeah. Don't need gloves for that one, right? And sifting through the vomits for potential foreign bodies, such as if it's chocolate, we'll be looking for wrappers, and if it's for grapes, more often than not, dogs will chew up the grapes, so we'll have to sort of put the pieces together and estimate how many grapes that the patient has actually ingested.
It's a grape jigsaw.
It's a great puzzle. It's like, oh no, that piece doesn't go together, so you put that one
You're
to
kidding,
the
you
side.
actually do
No,
that?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Start with the inside, then you work your way in. No, and then after that, usually the vet will calculate how much charcoal we need to give to that patient, and that can be a really messy job. Like you can start off with a white dog and end up with a black, and unfortunately it stains it a little bit. Yes, definitely. So we use absorbent pads, we'll cut like a little slit into the middle and put it over their head so you can only just see, just like this part.
Like little wing pads.
Yeah.
While they're eating the charcoal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So they don't get around the face.
Yeah.
Really?
So that way you've only
Does
got
it,
like
does
lots
it
of
like
little
fully
weird...
stain their coat?
It's not
Yeah, well,
necessarily
stain.
stains, but like it is hard to
It's
wash
hard,
off.
yeah.
And yeah, it stains temporarily, so probably for like a week or so. Or next time we get good.
And then they usually just go on, like in severe cases, they usually just go on fluid therapy,
Yeah.
and we monitor them every 4 to 6 hours. They stay in ICU, check their ECGs and make sure their heart rates are going back down to normal. And if they're not, sometimes we might have to have medical management, but usually signs do subside with time once we've flushed out the system a little bit. But yeah, chocolate's no go.
It definitely
Chocolate's a
isn't.
no-go.
No go.
No go. More chocolate for people.
Yeah.
Less chocolate for dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
And a lot of people say, I fed my dog Mars bars once every single day for the whole life. And it just takes one time for it to be toxic.
so is there like
No tolerance build up.
No, okay.
They can't
No tolerance build up.
No, no.
Glad we got that out of the way before I asked that stupid
Yeah.
more, so there's like only a chance that they'll show signs, or is
It's
it?
not necessarily a chance. Again, it's the dosage
Dose
rate.
rate, yeah.
So,
So if you went and
adjusted.
I got my dark chocolate out of the fridge and fed that all to Murphy, he's probably gonna have to come with me to work. Make him have a bomb.
Yeah, and also depends. Like some people will say, "Oh yeah, no, Murphy's just not feeling well. Just like let him just sit there." Whereas people who are proactive and notice that their pet has eaten that chocolate and bring him in, that's when they realize, "Oh, okay, this is actual danger."
Danger, yeah.
So, and if you ever have any questions, your vets are more than happy to answer your call and have a chat to you. Or usually you'll come through to the nurse, and then if the nurse needs to double check a few bits of information and calculations and stuff, we'll chat to the vet.
Yeah.
Relay
Happens
that
quite
information.
frequently, so don't ever feel like you're being judged on the phone. It happens really often.
Yeah.
So to sum up,
Summer,
Sum-
don't feed your dog chocolate.
okay, let's sum it up with a little bit more, with a few more parts. So don't feed your dog chocolate.
Yeah.
If your dog does have a small amount of chocolate, what should you do?
Don't freak out, but call your vet anyway, just to give them the dose, and then they can calculate it for you.
Okay, what does the vet do to counteract the chocolate?
We usually make them vomit, give them activated charcoal, then depending on the severity, we either put them on fluid therapy and monitor while monitoring their hearts, and then sometimes in really severe cases, blood work, we have to do a gastric lavage potentially.
Okay, and doing any of that sort of stuff at home, not that I know what half of those things is, doing any of that at home is not advisable.
Not at all.
No.
No. 100% no.
And you probably couldn't do it anyway.
No. There's not really easy ways to make them vomit, and if you do, you risk aspiration pneumonia at home, so they can actually inhale that vomit
Ah.
and make it worse.
Ah,
Which is just even harder for the vet
Good.
to treat then.
And depending what you induce trying to make them vomit with as well, you can actually just cause them to have a toxic reaction, like
Yeah,
trying to make them vomit with salt.
Oh, we get that all the time, and we get salt toxicity dogs.
Yeah. It's just like, what?
Salt is not the way to make your dog vomit.
No.
Thank you for watching our first episode of Chocolate for Dogs, a weekly healthy snack for the brain. So next week we will talk about toad toxicity and what to do if your dog licks a toad, or if your cat licks a toad for that matter, and what not to do as well. There are some things that people do that don't realise is actually going to lead to complications rather than helping us in the long run. Yeah,
So essentially, symptoms and intervention.
should be good.
thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.